A single sentence shook the internet overnight. Handsome touched me. No video, no clear face, no full context. Yet within hours, fans of Landman were asking one question again and again. What really happened behind the scenes of Season 2? Was this a serious claim, a misunderstood line, or just another headline made to explode on social media? The truth is far more layered than the quote itself, and that's where this story begins. The moment the words "handsome touched me" appeared online, they didn't arrive quietly. They surfaced through short clips, cropped screenshots, and fast-moving posts that gave no background and no explanation. In today's digital world, that is all it takes. A sentence without context becomes a story becomes a debate, and a debate quickly turns into a storm. What made this moment even bigger was its timing. Landman Season 2 is already one of the most talked about upcoming seasons. After the strong response to Season 1, expectations are high. Fans are watching every update closely, from casting news to behind-the-scenes interviews. So when this line appeared and was linked, directly or indirectly, to someone connected with the show, it immediately raised concern. Many viewers assumed the worst. Some believed it hinted at misconduct. Others thought it might be part of a scene, a joke, or an emotional statement taken out of meaning. But the internet does not wait for clarity. Before facts could settle in, opinions had already taken sides. This is how confusion grows. A short phrase is removed from its original space and placed into a new one, social media. There it lives a different life. Headlines begin to form around it. Reaction videos follow. Comment sections fill with anger, fear, and speculation. Very few stop to ask the most important question first. Where did this line come from, and what did it truly mean? What's important to understand is that no official statement was released at the time this quote began trending. There was no confirmation, no denial, and no full interview attached to the line. That silence allowed rumors to breathe. Some posts claimed it was said during a private conversation. Others said it was part of a discussion about acting chemistry. A few even claimed it was linked to a method acting experience on set. None of these claims were proven, but they were shared anyway. This moment also shows how easily language can be misunderstood. Words like touched do not always mean the same thing to everyone. In the world of acting, people often speak emotionally. They talk about being touched by a performance, by a scene partner, or by the energy on set. But when a sentence is cut short and presented alone, emotional meaning can be mistaken for something physical. For Landman, this was the worst possible timing. Season 2 is still in a sensitive phase where perception matters. Studios protect their image carefully. Cast members are usually advised to choose words wisely. Yet even careful words can be reshaped once they leave their original space. This section of the story is not about proving guilt or denying experience. It is about understanding how a single line became louder than the full truth behind it. Before blaming, before defending, and before judging, the real task is to slow down and look at how this conversation even started. Because sometimes, the biggest noise comes not from what was said, but from what was left out. To understand how the line, "handsome touched me," turned into a viral topic, we have to go back to its first appearance. Before the edits, before the reactions, and before the rumors took control. The truth is, this line did not begin as a headline. It began as part of a longer conversation that was never meant to stand alone. According to early traces online, the quote surfaced from an informal discussion connected to Landman Season 2, where emotions, performance, and on-set experiences were being talked about openly. It was not a written statement. It was spoken casually, without pauses or emphasis that would later be added by captions and edits. When spoken in full, the sentence flowed naturally, surrounded by other words that explained its meaning. But those surrounding words never made it to the public. Instead, a short clip, only a few seconds long, was shared. Faces were missing. The voice was unclear. No source was clearly mentioned. Yet that clip spread faster than any official update about the show. Once the line was separated from its original moment, it became flexible. People started placing their own meaning onto it. Some posts suggested the line referred to a co-actor known for his charm and screen presence. Others said it was a comment about how a scene partner's performance emotionally moved the speaker. A few accounts even claimed it was a behind-the-scenes confession. None of these claims came with proof. Still, repetition made them feel real. This is how misinformation grows. One account guesses, another copies, a third adds drama. Soon, the story no longer belongs to the original speaker. It belongs to the internet. And once that happens, the original meaning becomes almost impossible to recover. Industry insiders later hinted that the comment was made while talking about acting intensity and emotional connection during a difficult scene. In professional acting spaces, performers often describe moments as touching, meaning they felt something deep or real in the exchange. It is a common expression, but common expressions can become dangerous when removed from their natural setting. What made things worse was the silence that followed. No immediate clarification came from the production team. No full clip was released. And because Landman Season 2 is under strict media control, even cast members remained quiet. That silence was not an admission. It was standard practice. But to an online audience, silence often looks like guilt. As the quote continued to circulate, it began to change form. Some versions added words that were never spoken. Others changed the tone entirely. A statement that was once reflective started sounding serious, then alarming, then suspicious. Each retelling pushed it further away from reality. This moment highlights a hard truth about modern entertainment news. Context no longer travels as fast as controversy. A full interview may exist somewhere, but a single dramatic line will always win the race. And once the audience reacts emotionally, facts struggle to catch up. So when asking, "Where did this quote come from?" the answer is simple, but uncomfortable. It came from a real conversation, but it survived as a broken piece of it. What people are reacting to today is not the full statement, but a shadow of it. Once the quote, "handsome touched me," lost its original context, something predictable happened. Rumors stepped in to fill the gap. And when rumors mix with a popular show like Landman, they don't stay small for long. They grow, twist, and spread until the original truth becomes almost unrecognizable. At first, the reactions were confused, not angry. Fans asked questions. They searched for the full clip. They waited for clarity. But as hours turned into days with no official response, curiosity slowly turned into assumption. Social media creators began making videos with dramatic thumbnails and bold captions. Each one promised the real story, even though none of them had confirmed information. Soon, theories began to form. Some people claimed the line pointed to uncomfortable behavior on set. Others suggested it was about intense acting chemistry that crossed emotional lines. A few even connected it to plot rumors from Landman Season 2, as if the statement was secretly revealing something about the story itself. None of these ideas were backed by facts, but repetition made them feel believable. This is where the problem deepened. Once a rumor is repeated enough times, it stops sounding like a question and starts sounding like a statement. Viewers who saw the quote for the first time didn't see it as something unclear. They saw it as something already decided. That shift in perception is powerful and dangerous. The cast and crew of Landman became silent characters in a story they did not write. Their silence was interpreted in different ways. Some saw it as professionalism. Others saw it as avoidance. In reality, large productions often avoid responding to online noise unless there is legal or factual risk. But the internet rarely waits for legal rules to explain themselves. Behind the scenes, the production reportedly continued as planned. Filming schedules were not paused. No casting changes were announced. No official complaint was made public. These facts mattered. but they were quieter than speculation. Rumors always shout louder than routine updates. Another factor that fueled confusion was the use of the word handsome. People assumed it referred to a specific person. Names were guessed. Photos were attached. Suddenly, individuals who were never mentioned were being discussed as if they were involved. This kind of guessing turns a vague statement into a personal accusation, without evidence. What's most telling is that as days passed, the story did not gain new facts. It only gained new reactions. That alone is a sign. Real controversies usually grow with information. This one grew with emotion. Fear, shock, and curiosity pushed it forward, not proof. For fans of Landman Season 2, this created mixed feelings. Some worried the show might be delayed. Others feared the story would distract from the series itself. And some simply felt tired of seeing a show they loved dragged into confusion over a line no one fully understood. This section of the story reminds us that rumors do not need truth to survive. They only need attention. And once attention locks in, correcting the story becomes much harder than creating it. After days of noise, reactions, and non-stop discussion, the biggest question remains simple. Did this controversy actually change anything for Landman Season 2? The answer, based on everything confirmed so far, is far less dramatic than the internet made it seem. As of now, there has been no official statement confirming any wrongdoing connected to the viral quote. No formal complaint has been announced. No investigation has been made public. Most importantly, there has been no delay or disruption reported in the production of Landman Season 2. Filming schedules, planning, and internal work appear to be moving forward as expected. Industry insiders suggest that the creators and network chose not to respond publicly because responding would give more life to an unclear and unproven story. In many cases, silence is not a sign of guilt. It is a strategy to prevent rumors from gaining more power. Entertainment history is full of examples where reacting too early only made confusion worse. For the cast, this moment has been uncomfortable but controlled. No one directly named or addressed the quote, and that itself is telling. When a situation is serious, responses are usually clear and direct. Here, the lack of official reaction points toward one conclusion. The quote does not reflect a real crisis behind the scenes. From a wider view, this incident shows how fragile public perception has become. A show like Landman, which relies on strong storytelling and audience trust, can suddenly be pulled into controversy without solid reason. One incomplete sentence can temporarily shift focus away from the actual work, the story, the performances, and the upcoming season fans are waiting for. Interestingly, the attention may have also increased curiosity around Season 2. Search trends, online discussions, and fan forums became more active. While the tone was confused at first, many fans eventually returned to what they care about most, the show itself. That shift matters. It shows that audiences over time look for facts, not just shock. The real lesson here is not about a single quote. It's about how easily meaning can be lost when speed matters more than truth. In a digital world, stories move faster than explanations. And once emotion enters the conversation, logic often arrives late. As things stand today, Landman Season 2 remains on track, and the viral line that caused so much discussion appears to be just that. A line taken out of context. Not every trending story is a real scandal, and not every silence hides something dark. Sometimes the loudest stories fade quietly once people realize there was never much behind them at all. And as fans wait for the next official update, one thing is clear. The real story of Landman Season 2 will be told on screen, not in a single sentence shared without context.